And we are officially live, I think. I don't know anymore. Hello to all my BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome to another rendition of the Olalite Ensemble review. Of course, we got to get that in. And this is your weekly AEW review show here at the BC WrestlePod Wrestling Podcasting Network thingamabob. Uh, so, yeah.
Wow, we are high energy tonight. I feel like this week has already eaten everyone alive, apparently.
Look, I'm just preparing myself of finding a way to watch two pay-per-views, one glorious like comedy like wrestling, and fit that in because I will be gone Saturday and a little bit of Sunday morning because I will be heading to my first Game Changer wrestling show on Saturday in Los Angeles.
Oh, you lucky person. Be safe out there. Have fun.
I will. I get to see Shotzi and Bear Bronson and all those beautiful people and Effie. So I'm so excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Give Effie a big kiss from us.
I mean, listen, I'm not going to say no. Nah, I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm also excited to talk about AEW this week. Because
did you say gay EW? Because it kind of was a little bit. It was nice.
I mean, yes. We say this all the time here, but it's so nice that AEW feels like more progressive. It's really fun to watch because there are things that are said and done on this television screen across Dynamite and Collision where I'm like, God, I love wrestling.
Right?
It's so much fun. And we're going to break all that down tonight, but I got to introduce the panel for this evening because I can't do this by myself. I mean, I could, but it's not as fun. Of course, first and foremost, this is the OG, the person that started the Biconics, because actually this was his idea and he gave me his blessing to run with it and turn it into what it is now. Mr. JVL. My God, how far we've come.
It's true. It's very true. Oh God, this has been a lot of our lives so far. And Mikey, you've done nothing but spectacular things with this, including inviting every fan we've ever had to become a host on the podcast. It's very nice.
Listen, we're trying to create a harem here at BC WrestlePod, and so far it's working. We're collecting everybody like Pokemon, man.
Why does it have to be a harem and not a him?
I mean, it could be whatever you want. No,
just
I
like
love
my name tonight.
I love it. Mr. Shafir, gotta love it. But then, of course, speaking of growing our harem, our little familia, if you will, we also have our newest member, Benny, who is now officially the, newest to our little harem. And you know what? I'm happy for it. I'm cool here for it.
Do I call you a concubine?
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of harem on my chin. Per the usual greetings and salutations, internet friends, and as Motorhead says, let's rock and roll.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like Lemmy. Yep.
Yeah, 100%. So before we break down Dynamite and Collision and kind of, go into all that, as well as our predictions for All Out Toronto, a little bit of the announcements, if you will. As always here, before we do any of these reviews, if you like what you see here on your computer screen, your phone screen, your television, whatever, product you are using to watch us, hi, welcome. We're happy that you found us, however you found us on the internet. And we want you to stay here because we love interacting with all you folks. So, of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitch or Kick, whatever your preferred platform is for viewing videos or streaming content. But we also understand that that is a lot of time, and sometimes we just don't have enough of it. But if you still want to interact with us, I highly recommend following us on the social medias at BC WrestlePod, where we pretty much are on almost every social media site: Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Blue Sky. We have a Patreon, and new to our repertoire of things as well is BC WrestlePod has a coffee as well, where you can click that link and donate us to, help us keep the lights on, so to speak. It's a lot. It's a lot, you guys, but it's worth it in the long run. So
Well, when you have to pay for 4 different pay-per-views and or another thing and a streaming service and I mean, like, and there's no weeks off, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Be like, this is my second career, you guys. I was like,
slowly taking over your first career.
I mean, you know what? It is what it is. But honestly, you know what? I'm gonna ask my tax person. Can I use these as a tax write-off?
Oh hell yeah! Oh, let's chat afterwards. I will tell you how to really, like, you know, get a good setup there for your home business office you're sitting in right now.
We'll talk afterwards. But of course, if you want to donate to us any which way, that link will be, you know, popping into the chat ever so often, because I set up a bot for it to release to donate and buy us a coffee, and we would love you for it. But if you also want to support us financially, while also in return getting some really cool merchandise out of it, you can check out our merch store at bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com, where we have a lot of things. We have merch for all of our review teams, both, of course, the weekly shows as well as the international brands. And within the last couple of weeks, we dropped our 2 newest collections. One is our Pumpkin Suplex Latte collection, where we literally channeled our inner white girls, but with a luchador wrestling twist. So get that design with our luchador suplexing a pumpkin spice latte, and that is available for the entirety of fall. It will go away at November 30th, but of course, with that one, we always believe in charity around here. So every shirt dropping for the remainder of 2025 will have some sort of charity tied to it. For our
Mikey,
fall collection,
I keep saying we need some slides of these so people can see them.
I know. I think I'm gonna start, because I have the pictures that I've been posting on the social media. So I'm gonna do this.
Throw them up.
I will. So our fall collection had, you know, the pumpkin suplex latte. Part of the proceeds will be donated to No Kid Hungry, which helps children, you know, be fed during the holiday seasons, as well as the back to school season as well, because no child deserves to go hungry. And then just dropping literally yesterday, just in time for Hispanic/Latino Heritage Month, is our Festival of Lucha shirt, which has designs inspired by Latin artists, which is a lot of fun. And part of those proceeds will be donated to a couple of charity organizations that help keep Latin artists and Latino art relevant and preserved, especially the big ones like Diego Rivera, Frida Kahlo, Salvador Dali, all those folks. So check out that merch. Link in the description to this is in the description of this video, as well as in the chat. But now that I gotten that out of the way, let's talk about why we're really here, which is Dynamite and Collision. So in order to fit in both of those shows, as well as give us room to talk about All Out Toronto, I kept to the, I don't want to say main stuff, but like the stuff that we can focus on and trimmed out the fat, so to speak. Dynamite was easier because it was like, oh, it's pretty straightforward. Collision is like, oh my God, y'all have 2 hours and you crammed in so damn much. I was like,
it was a bloated show in some of the best ways. But honestly, for me, Mikey, Dynamite came down to one match, and we all know what that match is.
We're going to talk about it. I still had fun. Collision had lots of bangers, though. I'm not going to lie.
Even the promos were bangers. It was crazy.
They're like, hey, we kind of need to balance out the show. So Collision, since we're not going to have you next Saturday because of the pay-per-view, let's just give you everything we got. And then tomorrow we have September to Remember, which is 3.5 hour Dynamite.
Yep.
So we're going to sprinkle that in when we talk about All Out Toronto, because certain matches need to be finalized due to September to Remember, which we'll get into. But
no one needs to finalize anything. You're competing with a half-ass pay-per-view from the other folks. There's no reason to worry.
Very fair. So we kick Dynamite off this week with a grudge match in which we have, you know, our AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page taking on Josh Alexander. And I think it's funny because, Benny, you and I talked about this last week. We're like, I want singles Josh Alexander. And then they showed us this. I'm like, I swear Tony has my house bugged. I was like...
I'm pretty sure he's got like 5 people he knows in your house that are like just sending him random messages at any point.
I was like,
yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy,
also,
but
can we talk about quickly? Josh Alexander in this card photo looks like he sat down on a bike seat without a bike seat on it.
I like to ride my bicycle.
bicycle.
Oh man, we have fun here. You know what? I was really happy to see Josh Alexander in singles action. This was a bit of a fun one. Even if I figured, I was like, yeah, I kind of figure where this is gonna go, but still, I had a good time with this. This was a pretty fun match. JBL, I'm gonna come to you first. What did you think of our grudge match?
They gave a good hard-hitting match here. Josh Alexander got some really fun stuff in there, but we all know this is going to be some sort of schmoz or something else taken off. Neither of these guys have any history with each other in this company. There's no reason for this to really be happening. I don't know what the grudge could be other than, maybe Hangman's the one that removed Josh's bike seat. Who knows?
Oh man, now I can't unsee this photo. Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome.
Benny, what did you think of our grudge match opening up the Dynamite?
This was really fun. Like, there was like at one point there was like a crazy like exploder suplex like into the barricade in the aisleway. It was like, oh man, like that looked ugly, but like Josh actually like I like how Hangman didn't just like squash him. Like he got in some good heat and like man, what this Philly crowd is just so much fun. Like when like Hangman comes out like to start out, like this place goes ballistic, and I'll talk about it when we get to it later on. But like there was a certain somebody on this show that like they went absolutely bonkers for, but this match was so much fun. Yeah, good stuff from both guys, and in a rematch from April, which is
because we all remember that.
Oh,
it's crazy, but Hangman does walk out with the win here, which leads into what happened afterwards. So let me get this. By the way, the whole entire time we've been in our Philadelphia residency, this crowd has been amazing. The "Get Some Socks" chants were amazing.
yeah, like last Collision when they're like, "Oh, F the revive!" It's like,
Yep.
oh my god.
Philly fans are notoriously the best and worst people in the world for any sporting event, and I say that with love, knowing enough Philly fans, including one of our own Jesse, who is very much a Philly fan, but they are as rowdy as most European crowds, and they don't get what they like a lot, and when they do, they are the best thing on your side. I will say Kyle seems to be devolving into Dom Phallus quicker than we think, just by everything he looks like right now.
I mean, you're not inherently wrong, but the crux of this segment is the fact that Kyle Fletcher last week threw down the gauntlet, wants to challenge Hangman for the title. I mean, Hangman technically accepted it last week, but we get a little bit of an asterisk after this, interaction where Hangman praises Kyle Fletcher, probably knows he can do it, but in order for him to prove it, Hangman asks Kyle that the Don Phallus family needs to stay in the back, and Kyle needs to take care of this on his own, which Kyle, to his young, upstartness, is like, yeah, I could definitely do that. I'm going to beat you. I don't need their help, so they're going to stay in the back. And I'm like, very interesting. Obviously, I don't think, Fletcher, you're going to walk out with the win, but hopefully this adds to a fun dynamic leading into the Don Phallus family, because then we can start to get multiple cracks, because when we get to Collision, we already see one heading full steam ahead.
Well, that's been going since All In. I mean, come on.
So Kyle Fletcher is going to be challenging for this championship. Don Phallus family is going to be staying in the back, and Kyle needs to buy some socks.
I do want to ask Mikey, so if Kyle is devolving into Don Phallus, really turning into him at this point, does that make him Echi Uno instead of Echi Cero?
Oh my god, I hate you so much.
Sorry.
It's okay. I mean, might as well. Shoot, we're gonna see Don Fallis, aka Etchy Seto, this Friday, or at least the CMLL boys are going to see him this Friday when we do our watch along for
Exactly,
the
when you're
92nd
watching
Aniversario.
along Andrade joining, but we all know that. So
That's a whole nother can of worms. Me and Kill talked about that on Sunday, so we're just like, there are like literally 2 places that we can see him go to, but that's neither here nor there.
Nope.
But no socks, Kyle Fletcher versus the millennial anxious cowboy Hangman Page this Saturday should be a fun one.
Shoeless Joe Jackson, sockless Kyle Fletcher.
I mean, why not? By the way, whoever is the graphics team for these like match posters that be making for these things I really want them to sell so I can frame the one that they made for the Fatal 4-Way for the women's one, because the colors and the theming is so beautiful. And I'm just like, anyways, shout out to the design team in AEW. Y'all rocked it.
Yeah.
But go for it, Benny.
Agree. Those posters are great. Like I've gotten a couple myself. This one right here actually is the Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory. All out and Grand Slam 2022.
Oof. That match made me a believer in the Acclaimed, and I was just like, oh yeah, Swerve in Our Glory, easy win. And I was like, and then when Acclaimed didn't win, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That match made me a believer in the Acclaimed. I was like,
and then that storyline got completely sidetracked.
It did, and you know what? Who knows where we're going, because we're gonna get there with Collision. Because I was like, oh, all right.
You know, the Acclaimed was it seemed like a bad Python sketch that they didn't know how to get out of. So they're just like break it up.
Be like, all right. I was like, we ain't gonna forget, but you know what? If it gets both of them back on TV, sure, why not?
And now for something completely different.
Yes. Speaking of something completely different, hang on. Work with me. There we go. The lunch from hell, as I called it.
Oh my god. After all their stuff online this week too, and like all this, like them losing a bunch of money at the slots and flying first class, but they had what's his name in front of them that was too tall.
It was crazy. And then Jack Perry sending packages with knives and things like that. I'm like, excuse me? But this is the business luncheon from hell, because Renee tries to interview them and they're just like, they're getting with food, and then they sit down. They sit down with the Dark Order, and then Brandon Cutler is here, who doesn't want anything to do with them. Moxley sits down and scares like the extras from the table. Yep. And basically Moxley delivers a pep talk, be like, listen, Death Riders, we don't care about this money, but y'all need to pull your weight if you're gonna win this money later tonight in the main event. And I was just like, all right, Moxley, I understand the Death Riders' goals are completely different. Sure, very altruistic of you. But that's a lot of dinero. I was like, that's a lot of dinero. I'm just like,
as someone on one of the other aggregator sites described it, it's AEW's bi-weekly money match when they can't figure out how to do anything else for their storylines.
I'm just like, I will take this paycheck.
One thing I was noticing was that with the Dark Order, like Alan Angels was sitting next to the Dark Order as one of the extras.
He was back?
I don't know. Now that Alan Angels is on the independent, who knows?
Yeah, right. I love like Moxley like coming up and like acting like the cafeteria guard, like still doing like the whole Moxley thing, like, you guys know who you are, right?
You guys remember what's going on here?
They're like, yeah, Moxley, we've been writing it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this was a fun backstage segment. Brandon Cutler's beard is amazing as always.
He's on point.
On fleek. Love it. It's so good. Alrighty, so we move on from the corporate luncheon, the weekly AEW luncheon with folks, and then we just get straight into this match, which I was very happy on paper for a bunch of different reasons, but of course, the return of my queen, Emi Sakura, is back in the building. I've missed Emi so much.
We love her.
I love Emi so much, and this was a fun one. So this is a tag team match. TBS champion Mercedes Moné teaming up with the queen of AEW, Emi Sakura, taking on the team of Alex Windsor. I'm never going to get tired of saying it like that.
Well, and can I go into, before we get into that, did you all watch her episode with RJ City on AEW?
So much fun.
Dirtiest girl in the world, my God.
I was just like, that tracks. Oh my goodness. But of course, Miss Alex Windsor is teaming up with the recently returned Riho, who I also been missing in AEW. Telling you, these visa issues, man, are killing it and are killing me. But I'm really happy to see that we're slowly getting folks back. Fingers crossed that the next big one is Miss Hikaru Shida is able to come back very, very soon, because I miss Shida really, really bad. But
I think we all do.
you know what? This was a really fun match again. Mercedes and Emi are a fun team when they're paired up, because they are the heels and they make it great. Alex and Riho are fantastic, and this was a lot of fun. Alex Windsor and Riho do pick up the victory here after Emi gets pinned after all of this, which, you know, leads into what we're getting Saturday between Mercedes and Riho for that TBS championship. I'm going to switch it around. Benny, what did you think about this tag team match?
This was super fun. Like I love seeing Riho back, who looks amazing, and like she hasn't missed a beat. I know she's probably been wrestling in Japan, but like she looks flawless here. Actually, like Alex Windsor and Riho doing like a poetry in motion sort of.
Yeah,
like,
I remember that.
I was like, this is actually a pretty cool team. Like, if this women's division ever gets off the ground, this would be a pretty rad team, actually. And it's always great to see Emi, our queen, a little tea time.
May we bow to her at all times.
Absolutely. Bow down to your queen of. Never mind.
Never mind.
And Mercedes, like, I love how she's come out of her shell lately, and she's found this character. She seems to have locked in on this character.
I can't help but agree with you on that. Like, this match finally worked, and it wasn't using Mercedes to actually carry it, which was great. And just to see Riho and Emi, actually, it was basically just a Riho and Emi match for the entirety of it, until we got a few things in and out. And that's not the worst, but I feel like we could have had a decent match without just having Alex and Mercedes at ringside would have been fun. I don't think they needed to be tag partners, but it worked really well.
I agree with both of you. I think ultimately it was an Emi and Riho match with Alex and Mercedes kind of floating around, because that's the story we've been telling over the last couple of weeks between these two. And now Riho's challenging Mercedes this Saturday for the TBS championship. Give me more Emi on my television screen, Tony. Anthony, give me more Emi Sakura on my TV screen. I love her so damn much. But again, this was a fun one. This is continuing our mid-card championship. Yeah, I guess it's safe to call the TBS our mid-card. So, very fun match. Cannot wait to see the one-on-one with Mercedes and Riho on Saturday. He's short, he's bald, and he gets no hose.
Oh my God.
This was wild. The cameraman got pushed down. We got almost fights breaking out between FTR and the audience, which was crazy close. I was like, oh my God.
These were shoot too. There were a couple of shoot ones where they were coming close, where I know that Dax was looking to throw hands with somebody.
I was like, Burt Reynolds, I need you to simmer down.
I'm angry.
Burt and Ernie, I didn't know you were here. Oh my gosh. Very true. Now I kind of want somebody to recreate this segment but with Muppets.
With kid voices.
Yes, Muppet versions of Dax, Cash, and Stokely.
Or like stop motion Legos.
Listen, there are so many creative people out there. If any of you who are out there watching this, please do it. It'd be amazing. But so far, it's been mostly keeping FTR and Christian and Cope separate. So again, this was a promo that turned into a bit of a shoot because I thought fists were going to be thrown between FTR and the audience. The first couple ones, I was like, okay, they're playing it up. But then the money shot of that one guy just staring daggers at Dax and Dax staring back at them, I was like, bro, that would have been on site. Like any other time, it would be on site.
Man, this FTR run, especially this past few weeks in the ECW arena or 2300 arena, man, those fans are getting on top of them, and they are eating every second of it up.
Well, they're finally getting like actual crowd reaction they can react to versus, a lot of the other bigger places, like they can kind of hear it or they can see certain things, but the people in the front row are not doing much. But here in Philadelphia, they are within an arm's reach and they are spitting on you and doing stuff because Philly fans. So, in general, we're in a good place for that.
And Big Stoke here, is really, well, he's always got it, he's always had it.
Yeah.
But he's really transitioned into this. I don't want to say his name aloud because I feel like I'll summon him. But the man with the tennis racket.
Ah, yes. Jerry Clamnet.
Yes.
He used to manage the Rhythm and Blues Express, right?
Yes.
Mikey's like, you idiots. Stoke in general is taking that kind of role very seriously. His facial expressions when he knows he's like in super close in the camera have been on point for weeks now. And I just they're doing the right things for everybody where you just want to see them get their asses kicked by somebody. And it's got to happen sooner rather than later. And it's going to be Christian and Cope. And it's going to be absolutely glorious until their shenanigans that get in the way.
Was it like a couple weeks ago when like Christian like hit him with the unprettier, and like they're like dragging Stokes like dead body up the aisleway.
Yep. He sells very well.
We love it so much. So again, we're finally getting a face-to-face between the two teams tomorrow at September to Remember. And
I definitely will remember.
Yeah. So we're going to see how that goes down as we prepare for their match on Saturday against each other. So can't wait to see how that turns out.
No, we need to see it soon. It needs to happen. It's been strung out too long.
Again, Philadelphia, you were my favorite main character of the whole entire evening. BALDIE Baldy. God, I love
it. It's like Shelton's bald too, right?
Which of course works, but Ricochet leans into it so damn good. I love it. Like when he was doing the stomps, and then again, no prompting, no nothing. It caught on. The crowd did it, and even Ricochet had to stop because he was all mad when they were calling him Baldy. It's the same energy that I got when Okada was running the ropes and then stopped in the middle and slapped his bald head at the World's End last year. I'm just like, God, I love this version of Ricochet. But shout out to Shelton Benjamin too. Like, oh my God, I was really happy to see that this was going to be a singles match between the two of them. Of course, Shelton told the rest of the Hurt Syndicate to stay, in the back. So he got this since Ricochet, had Goa in the back, which we knew was not going to be the case, but
never the case.
I also go for it.
Cracks happening in the Hurt Syndicate. Max has caused more problems, and they're not trusting each other now.
Max is just like to equate Max to a Pokemon. He is a Voltorb that used self-destruct, and then everybody else got to pick up the pieces after, or it's in the middle of the battle. I was darn it, Voltorb.
I thought he was like coughing or a wheezing that used smoke cloud or smog cloud. Then
ran away. That too. It's the Galarian form of it. Now we're getting really nerdy. But hey, tune in this Friday because Pokemon and CMLL have that collab coming up, which is fantastic.
God, it's gonna be so good.
Oh my God, I was like, oh my God, we have a Mexican. Well, Halucha has always been the Mexican wrestler Pokemon, but now his Mega is an actual luchador with a cape and everything. Oh, but that's for a whole nother podcast.
But is he going to be shiny? That's all we want to know.
That is very true. But back to the match itself between these two beautiful bald bastards.
It was so bright, the light shining off their heads.
The SpongeBob be my eyes. No, I had a good time with this one.
They work really well together. They have a great styles that mesh up. It really was fun with the storytelling. I thought it was hysterical that like using the scissors as a weapon against a guy with no hair is just funny to me for some reason. It's just I don't know, but I want to see like a best best of 7 match series with these guys where it gets like progressively less people at ringside till finally it's bald on bald action.
And 2 out of 3 balls. 2 out of 3 balls.
And Dom Fallis is the shaft.
I could have added a D in there. My bad.
Balls Mahoney.
Exactly. This match was so much fun. Like we all knew the eventual outcome, right? Because like it's like the Ricochet GOA formula. Like if he comes out by himself, he won't be for long. And
but they're doing it better than the Dom Fallis family in that respect. Even when they're in like multi-man matches, the Ricochet Goa grouping seems more cohesive.
Oh, definitely. Totally like pouncing all the big men around has been so much fun as well. But like Shelton, man, I'm happy to see him have this run. You know, like after like was it like he gets hired back in like 2020. They put him on the shelf until like 2021, and then like they do the Hurt business, and then like he's gone, like they just gone again. They just released. It's like, what are you doing? Like this is like one of the best wrestlers in the world, and he showed it here. You know,
he's been so neutered for so long. It's just great to see him do anything at all in the best possible way. But I think there was one trick that AEW missed. They need to have Ricochet take on Big Bill so he can come out and go BALD bald.
That would be amazing.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
So, of course, Ricochet wins with the assistance of Goa, which also has the rest of Hurt Syndicate. And, you know, we're building to this trios match happening this Saturday. But again, this was fun. And shout out to Shelton Benjamin. Man has been in this business for almost 20 plus years, and watching a clip of him when he wrestled at the I don't want to mispronounce it, but the All Black promotion recently, where he cut that promo. It's like never in his 20 years has he ever seen this, and he's proud of it. I was like, man, you got a little bit more, you got more respect points from me, my dude. Shelton Benjamin is so good.
Ashe,
thank you, Betty. Ashe.
But I mean, talk about an ambassador not only for the sport but everything else. Like Shelton Benjamin has done everything and been everything to anyone, and just the fact that he's still working at this high of a level it proves what faith we had in him when he was younger and he was just running around with a bunch of like painted hair.
God, as we come to find out, the dyeing it blonde was his thing, and then he was down for the Shelton and Benjamin Mama's Boy gimmick, which was great. I was just like, man, Shelton, you deserve your flowers because you just take everything on the chin and you're just like, all right, let's do it. See where it goes. And again, the gimmicks are funny. He's funny, but he could, again, like you said, JVL, he's still able to work at this high of a caliber this late in his career is amazing stuff. And I love Shelton for it. Excited to see what happens at, All Out this weekend with the trios match between Hurt Syndicate and Ricochet and Goa. So I'm excited to see where this goes. Oh my! Listen, the best way to summarize this match is staples in the butt and the coochie, and the strongest thing to come out of this match was that table full of mouse traps because that bitch did not break.
How could it? It was like triple reinforced with the mouse.
Lord,
traps.
watching these girls get bounced off that thing was nuts to watch. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, but also provided us one of the best kind of sapphic moments of the entire match, where Tony slides forward across them right into Sky's crotch, and they leave it there for just long enough for everyone to be like, and then Sky like knocks her away and keeps going.
This match was fun. I mean, it's a street fight, like, so we know what we're getting. But
well, okay, so it's a street fight, Mikey, which Timeless Tony Storm came prepared not only by coming out as the Sandman, basically, but also like fully in like a boiler suit. And Sky Blue comes out in like the skimpiest ever leather daddy gear for a street fight. Did she not expect to get beat the crap out of? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
That's fair. But at the same time, though, I had such a freaking blast with this. And again, Tony's entrance is great. Like, iconic moments. And again, yeah, staple guns were crazy. Mouse traps all over the place. This was a lot of fun. Timeless Tony Storm picks up the victory here. And then, of course, afterwards, we had everyone and their mother come out to basically fight. I did not get a picture of this because it was too blurry, but my favorite still shot that I found was just Amina Shirakawa like screaming full on aggro with a cooler over her head ready to smash somebody. I was just like, that's the money shot right there, Mina. That's the money shot right there, which, plays into what we're getting technically on 0 Hour because we're getting an 8-woman tailgate brawl. So I'm just like, just call it.
Oh, now that makes sense.
It just took you till now, Benny.
I mean, they're calling 0 for All Out Toronto. They're calling the 0 Hour the tailgate brawl. So I was like, it's still 0 Hour, but we got an 8-on-8 match made. And we'll do the predictions because that's the only match on 0 Hour so far officially announced. But
that's also the only one we care about anyway. But
for real.
I think, Mikey, you're right in a lot of ways. We had a schmoz at the end. Everything was out there. Benny obviously didn't pick up on the tailgating theme, which we understand. But there were a couple things for me with this. I mean, it was a brutal hardcore match. The women usually put on better hardcore matches than the men anyways. They are really good at telling fun stories. This match felt like they took 3 minutes away from it, and it needed it. It was too short. Especially for where it was in the card. Yes, I know it wasn't the main event, but like, you're in Philadelphia. There's not a lot of crowd work. I mean, they're up in the barricade a little bit. That's about it. They don't do much in terms of blood. They don't do much in terms of getting up into the back. Everything that this was an ECW match on purpose and didn't do jack all for it.
Yeah, this was sort of like the safe version of ECW, But you can tell that like Sky Blue was like in her element, like you could just tell that she was just happy as hell, just to be using all the weapons. And to be honest with you, with the tailgate items, like Aminata had like a cooler, like an igloo cooler.
It's like Mina had the cooler. I believe Aminata had like a spatula of some sort.
And some tongs. Yeah.
And some tongs.
Like tongs.
And this is where we wish. This is where we wish Red Velvet was still feeling good, because she could come out and be the baker and just like bring out like a mixing bowl and a big wooden
spoon, like whole Latina grandma just smacking kids with the wooden spoon. Oh man, I agree with you, JPL, and to you too, Benny. I felt like this was fun, but I also felt like I feel like we could have gone like 3 more minutes or even 4 more minutes, and it would have been like just enough, especially what we got at the end. But yeah, Tony, we're gonna come back to you because you incited a riot on Collision too. It's just like
that was the best. Oh my god, that ended that match. I just after the
corner bitches.
Punches. After the corner punches, it was so good.
Oh my goodness! So this was a fun match, and
AEW needs their own Evolution pay-per-view because the women have better stuff going on.
Seriously, I was just like, have an all-women show. Literally, it'd be so much fun. Please, Tony, even if it's like a one-off, just or like a regular. Hell, do it in the middle of October. CMLL is about to do it. We get a whole month of nothing but Amazonas wrestling for all the women on the card, which is fantastic. So, which also leads into the Amazona Grand Prix, which is happening at the end of October. I'm so excited. Anyways, but let's get into what closed out Dynamite, which was our main event, where Tony Khan be writing these checks every single week. And I'm like, yo, Tony, can I get some? But we get this 500K. I was like, that's a lot of money. And then I saw the next word, 10-man tag. I'm like, oh God, this is about to be chaotic as fuck. And it was.
Well, especially with a reveal at the end, so that we all saw coming 3 weeks ago. Anyway.
So we get the face team, if you will call it. So our AEW Trios champs, the Ops, so Powerhouse Hobbs, Katsuyori Shibata Bread, and Samoa No Mames Mimosa Joe. Teaming up with your mom's favorite new tag team and mine too, everybody's. It's Brodito, and of course, Bandito. I don't know whether it was you or somebody in the back, but every time you're trying to make Brody King do the Macarena is the best thing on the planet. And I got to see it twice in 1 week with here, and then Friday for CMLL's Viernes Espectacular. Listen, the moment that Brody King does the Macarena with, Bandito will be the best thing of wrestling this year. Not even going to fly. And they are taking on the team of the Young Bucks, who kind of need this cash because they broke. And they're teaming with the philanthropic, altruistic, don't really need this money, the Death Riders, as they say. I was like, no, Wheeler Yuta needs his money so this man can get a haircut and stop looking like a employee at Hot Topic. I was like, listen, we need to fix that because I'm tired of seeing the tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
Are you trying to make Wheeler Yuta into Cameron Grimes?
Sure, why not? I mean, might as well. Wheeler Yuta is a punching bag like Cameron Grimes was in the Fed, so I'm just saying.
It's true.
But chaotic is the only word I can properly use this to describe this match, because this was a car crash, but like in the best way possible. I was like, yeah, I figured this is where we were going. Everybody's getting their stuff in. Bandito out here doing the Macarena. Brody King destroying fools. I'm not even going to lie. On paper, I'm like, hot damn, the face team has a lot of meat on that side. I was like 3 out of the 5 guys. I was just like, ooh, hey. But also I'm looking on the other side. I was like, nobody sneeze. Moxley's about to bleed. I had fun with this match. I had fun with this match, and then of course what we get at the end we'll talk about in a little bit. But the Bucks and the Death Riders do end up winning here, so I was just like, okay. I'm like, I'm not mad at it, because the ending is what really is the important talking point for Dynamite this week.
Which is saying something, because honestly, this could have been a really fun match for a lot of different reasons, and it wasn't a bad one, but this is your typical schmoz match where we don't really have a finish in mind. We need to get everyone in there, and also we're kind of furthering the Bucks storyline, but not really. As someone said, this is the typical Tony Khan money match, which he does almost every week now. So yeah, I feel like we could have fast forwarded half this match, given it to the women, and then still done the ending the way we wanted to. I don't know about you, Benny.
Yeah, to be honest with you, like this one was sort of like there. Like it, I hate I hate to be that guy, but like there was some great moments, but overall it was just another 10-man tag. Like, but like I really love, but like I'm not down on it at all. Like I really enjoyed it. Like there was a few moments where Nick Jackson, I'm talking about Nick Jackson again. Look at that. And Bandito like had amazing chemistry. Like I said it last week, but like Nick Jackson is often the best wrestler in any match, and to have this amount of people, this amount of talent in the ring, he still shined, But like,
he did, yeah.
I got Claudio and like everybody on the opposite team, So it's good. It was a good. This was a fun time.
It definitely was. So let's talk about the ending. So of course, Darby comes in to get after Moxley and the Death Riders, because we have Darby's match coming up this weekend as a coffin match. And then Creator wrestler number 15 in a black hoodie comes in to run interference for Moxley. The hoodie comes off and, a la Home Alone meme, shocked face or shocked Pikachu face, like if you want to go that meme. It's Daniel Garcia, and I'm just like, I saw this coming. However, Tony, you have two routes you can go down, and I'm hoping that you're going down where this is a ruse because Orange Cassidy is going to come in and just like whatever. Because we also, I didn't include the picture, but we also have a Hook talking about how, he's going to go at it alone or maybe not. So I'm just like, this is falling too perfect into place. So we are either getting, Daniel's kind of getting a heel turn, so put him in Death Riders, or my favorite option of the two paths is that this is a ruse. And we got Orange Cassidy, as cool as he is, playing mind games out here and orchestrating everything that's going down. But I hope that's the case. But you know what? I'm probably wrong.
It's Danhausen.
It's Danhausen. It's always Danhausen.
He just pops up everywhere. Love that Danhausen.
I love you, Danhausen. I'm so sorry.
I gotta say, I really like this, this Danny Garcia Mox storyline, because it shows you that they can tell a short story and get to the ending really quickly. It did all this transpired over a week, week and a half, 2 weeks, and when Danny at the end of this. The crowd was like, "What? Danny? What?" A gasp. The crowd was a gasp.
No, Danny, no.
But honestly, I feel like I like this because we've been saying for the last couple of weeks, I was like, what are we doing with Daniel Garcia? What is his direction? We had him at Forbidden Door. Excuse me. And I thought that was going to go somewhere, but apparently not with him and Nigel. But, I'm here for Daniel Garcia being Death Riders to see where this goes. We won't have to wait too long to talk about that when we get to Collision. So let's just get into it, shall we? Oh. Saturday.
Except it wasn't Saturday night.
This was taped on a Thursday and it aired on a Saturday.
Sorry, did we break the internet there? That people didn't realize still that people tape things for the weekend shows.
Shocker. Anyways, let's get this.
Why wouldn't you put it in the can, right?
Oh my!
To each their own, Benny. To each their own.
Party.
Oh, anyway. Wow. Touche.
I know all about touchies.
Oh my goodness.
We are punchy tonight.
We are very punchy tonight, and that is okay. So let's get into Collision because a lot went down as well. Because again, they packed so much in 2 hours. So I swear, Mark Briscoe, you have 15,000 different portraits for these cards, I swear. And they're all different. They're not even the same. I feel like you're one of the only AEW wrestlers who doesn't have it the same every single week, which is crazy. But
there's got to be the conspiracy theory is he's telling a story with his match card graphics. Just there's something going on that we're not picking up on, where that he's got some code we have to decipher. It's wonderful.
It really is. So we kick the show off because we kind of blend Mark Briscoe and MJF together in this whole thing, where we figure out what Mark Briscoe's stipulation is going to be for his match against Max at All Out Toronto. And this was a whole entire segment. So it all equates to, we learned that at All Out Toronto, and it's going to be Mark Briscoe versus MJF in a tables and tax match. I was like, oh God, that combination sounds deadly. They're going to be bleeding, and it's going to be crazy.
What will Mox think?
For reals. Mox is like, hey, how come I wasn't in it? I'm like, bro, you're in a coffin match. You're probably going to bleed and die at the same time.
Yeah, but now I can't use tax in the coffin match because they're using tax in this match.
Hey, listen, Darby's going to come out with the tax skateboard. Y'all already know.
He's gonna have a tack spine, like just like under his coat. He's taped into his spine.
Darby is wild out here. So I was like, these two mofos gonna bleed on Saturday. It's gonna be fun. I am here for all of it.
Give it to us all, please. Give it to us all.
Mark Briscoe is living his best life. He's like, yeah, I had a child, but I'm about to throw thumbtacks and tables. It's gonna be a fun match. I was like, baller. MJF is gonna be a busy boy because the day before, him and Mystico are about to go at it one-on-one, title versus mask at the Aniversario show in Reno, Mexico, and then he's got to fly all the way up to Toronto for Saturday. So that's MJF gonna be a busy boy this weekend.
How much do we see? Like he fights Mystico, and as he's about to pull his mask off, it's Andrade.
That'd be crazy. La Sombra is back in CMLL. Anyways,
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
and Naito is also a
Free agent too. So I was just like, hey, you know what? More Japanese wrestling in Arena, Mexico. Let's go. It'd be amazing. Can't wait.
As long as they can work around his as long as they can work around all of his disintegrating joints and everything else, yeah.
Not to mention his disintegrating eyeball as well. Like,
oh my god.
Oh, Naito. Between you and Tanahashi, I was just like, oh, don't hurt yourselves every time I see you walk and run.
Someone's gonna cough on them and they're just gonna dust like they got like taken in the snap.
It's crazy out here. Alrighty, so that's what opened up the show. Now let's get into all the rest of Collision. So this episode, as well as tomorrow, we're told to be like, hey, so Okada's going to be defending his championship in a 3-way. So we're getting 3 qualifying matches, so to speak. And this is the first one, Takeshita versus Anthony Bowens. And I'm like, as soon as I saw that bracket and I saw who was involved, I was like, oh, this is an easy shot. There still should be fun matches. We're going to get into Okada's one because as much as I enjoyed it, Michael Oku, you took a very scary spot. I was like, oh, God, no. But anyways, so we get Konosuke Takeshita versus Anthony Bowens. This went about the way that I thought it was going to. Takeshita wins, and that is the end of that story. Like, I have nothing else to add.
Can I honestly ask about, like, we've said in the past that Takeshita is so good, he could get a good match out of anybody. What the hell has Anthony Bowens done wrong in his life that he can't get a good match with Takeshita? It was mediocre in the worst possible way. And I feel like it popped into my head. I'm like, oh, Anthony Bowens is like 1997, 98 Al Snow.
Ooh.
Technically brilliant, does really well, had some stuff with the crowd that kind of worked. Not over anymore.
Yeah. I'm
sorry. I didn't mean to go bring it a downer. It's just,
no, it's fine. Like, I actually sort of agree. Like, I kept waiting for this this match to hit a second gear, right? And it just never did. Like there was a few good spots, like Bowens hitting like probably the best famouser I've ever seen in my life.
Right. Don't you mean the Zack Ryder move?
Oh yes. Or Zack Ryder, right?
Matt Cardona.
Long live Effie. I hear he's fine.
He's doing pretty good for himself, all things considering. But yeah, I was so disappointed with Anthony. I was like, Anthony, I love you, but like, at first I was mad at creative and booking because I was like, what are we doing with you? But this one was on you, my dude. This one was on you, and it's unfortunate. But Takeshita wins. He's going on to All Out Toronto in that 3-way for the Unified Championship. We shall move on to our next thing. Again, Tony Khan, can I get this money? I want this money, bro. You literally threw out, my math is correct, 500,000 plus 500,000 is $1 million, right? So I was like, You literally wrote $1 million, 2 separate checks, totaling almost $1 million. But my God, I was just like, this match was wild. I was just like,
can we also say thank you to Tony for equal pay for both genders?
yes, we love it. But this was well, we're far enough in. It's like, this was fucking crazy of how many people were in this match. Listen,
didn't lose a beat.
It did it though. I was like, are we doing this better? Did we do this better than the Dynamite 5-on-5? And
no,
the short
100%.
answer to the question is yes, duh. But so on one side, so of course, Timeless Tony Storm is on commentary, and you know what? We're gonna talk about her inciting a riot, which was great afterwards. But on one side, we have the team of Jamie Hayter, Tay J, Chris Statlander, and Feel the Wrath, Harley Cameron, taking on the Triangle of Madness. So that is Tekla, Julia Hart, Sky Blue. And they are teaming up with the Megasis, Megan Pang, and P. Ford, Penelope Ford. Lord have mercy. This was a lot of women in this match. And I was just like, Tony Khan, as much as we appreciate this tailgate brawl we're getting on Saturday, I swear to all the wrestling gods, you know what we want. Stop teasing me. I want a blood and guts match, damn it.
Please, please, please.
Yeah, talk about spinning your wheels, right? Like, we've literally been seeing this combination of women in a multi-person tag since like before Forbidden Door. Like,
I don't know what else to add. Like, Mike, you said it all about this. The chemistry between all of them, the four corner punches with Sky Blue getting her butt kicked in the middle. Like, it just was, there were so many good spots. It ran the best amount of time. It was so much just better than the men. Like, please give me something like this, or use these women more often. We can get rid of some of these men's matches every week and have better wrestling and storyline. Please do it.
Exactly. But at the same time, though, Tony, we need to find some finality to this long feud, because now it's going to start dragging on. So give me my blood and guts match, darn it. But hopefully that will happen very, very soon. But again, after this match, too, though, it was fantastic because, you know, Tony Storm, you know, everybody fighting, be like, brawl, bitches. And everyone starts fighting. I was just like, the Symphony of Madness. I love it so much.
Tony on commentary called like Harley Cameron like Jim Henson with tits.
Yep. As we've said for years now, Tony Storm on commentary is one of the highlights of any broadcast.
Absolutely. Like, even Nigel was like, I'm just gonna lay out.
Nigel was just like, hey, I know my lane and I'm gonna stick with it.
He doesn't want to get in the crossfire like Mr. Siobhan.
Oh, Mr. Siobhan. We love you, Mr. Siobhan. So the heels pick up the win. I was like, Tekla has been earning lots of cash since she's gotten here, because this is like the second or third money match she has won.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, Homegirl is paying her punk band that she has too, which is very fantastic. Listen, I don't know if the music world was ever ready for this, but I need Tekla's band and Brody King's band to make a collab. That would be amazing.
Go on tour.
Seriously. Julia Hart is the backup singer.
And counter-program Fozzy, and you'd be perfect.
For real. They're the new band at the Jericho Cruise instead of Jericho's.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. All right, we got to keep this going because we still got predictions. We get another Max Caster Open Challenge. Big Bill squashes Max Caster, and Big Bill is still continuing to call out and challenge Eddie Kingston. And I was just like, I don't know, Bill, if you're ready for the Mad King of New York to be coming down. And I'm like, at first I was like, we're announcing this match. But at the same time, I was just like, I have missed you, Eddie, so damn much. Angry Grandpa is back. I love you.
The crowd loved it. They ate it up, as we knew they would, and they had to announce this because obviously they want to make sure people watch All Out. So
I'm so excited. I don't care. I'm just happy to have Kingston back on my screen. I have missed you so much. Moving on.
My bad. I was just gonna say that there's something's got to be said about like how Max Caster, like his face turn a couple weeks ago. Like he didn't even do this the shtick this week, and then he allowed the crowd to do it. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff all around.
You barely changed anything about yourself, and yet you switched from being a bad guy to a good guy.
So fantastic. Well, let's talk about this continued character change for everybody, shall we? Because, oh my gosh. So, Lexi is backstage with Anthony interviewing him. You know, we saw Anthony earlier lose to Takeshita, and so they're trying to figure it out. Max Caster, well, Jerry Lynn comes in to give some wise words to Anthony Bowens. Max Caster walks through, like, shoulder checks Anthony in the process. These two begin to brawl. Out comes the swirl of Blake Christian and, you know, Mr. Shouty Lee Johnson over here, you know, cutting a promo, you know, against the Acclaimed. A fight breaks out. Jerry Lynn loses his shirt. Everybody's brawling. The Acclaimed are back together? Question mark. TBD, honestly. I was like, okay, this was a segment.
Well, how do you fix Anthony Bowens? He's not working as a singles competitor. To stick him back with Max Caster and have Jerry Lynn look like Goldberg's son at WrestleMania, whatever it was.
Not Goldberg's son. No.
Yeah,
No.
I love Jerry Lynn, and but his placement here was a little odd to me because like the death metal guy is with the Acclaim now. That does
because we don't have Billy Gunn anywhere.
Which, by the way, I was just like, where is Daddy Ass in this whole equation? Where is he? Like, I don't know what's going on.
We're getting a feud between him and Jerry Lynn, obviously.
You know what? That's probably where it's going. I was just like, all right, I'm here for it. If we can survive the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match between Jeff Hardy and Jeff Jarrett, like, I think we can survive anything. The professor, one of the professor's favorite AEW matches of all time.
I think it's the only one he remembers.
That's very true. So we are still TBD on the Acclaim being back together. So we shall see in the next couple of weeks how this pans out. But we got to keep it going. We get our obligatory, hey, don't forget, CMLL has a show this upcoming Friday. First of all, this distinguished gentleman on the far left, John, I love you so damn much. Like, I was like, what the hell is this?
Definitely not Serpentico with his top hat that's longer than Lexi's skirt.
John Cruz out here cosplaying a Galarian form Pokemon with that, how tall that freaking hat is. Oh my god.
John Cruz Lincoln over here.
I know, he's cosplaying Lincoln.
4 score and 7 seconds ago.
like the Monopoly guy. You know,
Uncle Pennybags.
Oh my god, we need an AEW Monopoly version. They have Monopoly always does these so different versions. I need an AEW version of Monopoly.
AEW-opoly.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So I'm looking forward. We will be watching this live on Friday, the CMLL boys, and we will at least. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. This is going to be fun. CMLL also pulling some moves because normally you could have to be have a subscription to CMLL's like top tier to get all these shows live. But for the first time, not Fantastica Mania, the 92nd Anniversario will be showing that you can buy and watch on Triller TV, which is nuts.
That's amazing.
I was just like, yo, CMLL out here doing moves. So good.
Do we think Mystico's losing his mask?
Absolutely not. I was like, there is no way. Listen, CMLL is okay with their championships going to people outside of the company, but when it comes to this mask, absolutely not. Especially their golden poster boy, absolutely not.
No.
At least I don't think they were. I'm 95% sure he's going to be okay. But you know what? I've seen crazier things happen in wrestling. Expect the unexpected. What do you twist? But we got to keep going. Oh my God, this match.
Oh, wow.
Listen, last week, we're far enough into this. Me and Benny were just like in a hot sweat because of how amazing. And last week's match between these four was my favorite match of the whole time. For the second week in the row, they ran it back again, and it was still as equally as epic. Yeah. I was like, my God, Tommy Billington, Adam Priest, and FTR 2, y'all ate.
This was shades of like in 1980s British Bulldogs versus the Brainbusters. Like you had so much stuff. And Adam Priest, that tornado DDT where he did not even clip the apron, fell straight to the floor to put Cash Wheeler on his head and like have him sell. What a move.
Yeah, and like Tommy Billington like finally getting the hot tag and then like going to the top rope to hit a drop kick, like it was perfect. Like this really reminded me a lot of like you were saying like the Bulldogs and Brain Busters are just like, you know, like 80s Southern tag team wrestling, you know, like it was way way different than you usually see tag team matches being paced, you know, today, because like FTR was like taking over like half, like the first half, and then like they finally got the hot tag, and then FTR just like took advantage of them and was like playing with their food, and they're just oh man, fantastic! There are not enough descriptors that I have in my vocabulary to.
We're gonna buy you a thesaurus, Benny. Come on, we can do this.
It was fantastic. Oh man, this is tag team wrestling.
It really was. It really was
so much fun. FTR win. They cut a short promo, you know, for their face-to-face coming up tomorrow with Christian and Copeland. But for the second week in a row, I was just like, listen, I'm not saying that you need to, AEW, but if y'all want to give me one more to make it a trilogy, like I will be like, oh my God. This is there's not enough words that I can continue to describe of how awesome this was. And the fact that they ran this back again, back to back, we didn't take a break and then run it back again like 2 weeks later. It was straight back to back. And I was just like, I don't know if Adam Priest is officially signed to AEW. I know Tommy Billington has kind of been in and out for the last couple months, but AEW, I'm just saying, y'all need to lock this shit in right now. Lock it in.
I'm going to say this as best I can. This is what the Von Erichs wish they had done their entire time. They come in and come out and come in, come out. They cannot wrestle as well as these two.
But oh my goodness! But holy crap, what a way! I was just like, oh man, this was a great collision. Wait, what do you mean this wasn't the main event? What happened? I was like,
what happened?
I was like, what do you mean this is not the main event? What do you mean we still got things going on? What are we doing? But you know what? Let's just keep going because we are at the end of this. We're getting towards the end of this. We got 2 matches left, so let's just jump into it. We get not only a qualifying match, but this is a AEW Unified Championship. And again, on paper, I was like, okay, it makes sense. Okada's got to defend this thing to get into, you know, All Out Toronto to defend the thing. And then when I saw he's like, and he's going up against a Michael Oku, I'm like, Anthony Khan. Anthony, come here, Anthony. Let's talk real quick.
Is his middle name Anthony? So he's Tony Khan?
I don't Tony Chopper. Hey, listen, if Tony Chopper can have 2 first names, like I'm just saying. But Anthony, come here. We need to have a chat. I keep telling you this all the time. You can't, for me personally, you can't just casually drop, oh yeah, you're gonna have Michael Oku on the show. Because as soon as I saw this on paper, and Benny got my reaction last week when we talked about it, I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, how do you just casually drop like, oh yeah, one of like the brightest stars at Rev Pro UK and British wrestling right now is about to have this match against Okada. I'm like, what the hell are we doing with our lives?
For the title.
For the title too. I was just like, Listen, I want to live Michael Oku's life. The last couple of months, this kid has just been popping in AEW. Be like, yeah, I'll show up. He's had banger with with Echiseto. He's having a banger. I will admit that there was one part where I thought Michael Oku died during this match. I'm like, oh God, no, please don't.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need you getting hurt.
Was that the drop kick as he was coming off the top rope, or was that the where do you think he was gonna die?
I think the drop kick is where I was like, oh God, no. And again, I don't try to bring up the Fed as much either, but watching somebody in the similar position have their head bounce off the basketball on the floor like that. Mm-hmm. Listen, say what you will about her, but I was like, Tiffany Stratton, that head was bouncing. I was like, oh God, no.
Yeah. So Oku sold like a madman for this and took everything from Okada that he could. It was crazy. And to see Okada look slow, which he has not looked that slow because Oku is so fast.
Yeah. Speaking of Oku almost dying, it almost seems like he's trying to kill himself to get a contract, because there was one time it was Death Before Dishonor where he did this Salisbury flop or whatever it is, and he just landed on his
Fosbury
face.
flop.
Yeah, there it is. I never get that one right because it's such a tongue twister.
I feel like you're combining Salisbury steak and Fosbury flop.
I think I did, yes.
I don't know if that's delicious or not, but you know.
Earlier I had mentioned that that the Philly crowd lost their mind for somebody. The way that this Philly crowd was screaming from the bottom of their diaphragms for Okada was was insane.
Their hometown boy.
Yeah, right.
I mean, sure.
Yeah. At the beginning, this is this woman just shrieking at the top of her lungs because she's seeing Okada in front of her. I understand it. I get it. I'd probably be doing the same thing.
I think we all would squee just a bit, just being that close to him. Yeah. But yes.
For reals. I know I squeed for Okada, but I also squeed for Ibushi when I went to Dynamite 300. I was like, oh God, this is our main event of Dynamite 300. What is my life right now?
On the other side of this, though, Michael Oku, please keep yourself safe. Not because we need you to be fighting more things in AEW or doing Rev Pro. We need you back on Brainbusters over on Wrestle Talk TV because they're doing great stuff with you when you come and play games with them.
Michael Oku, I was just like, they're just casually have a friendship with one of the hottest prospects in the British wrestling scene right now. And I'm just like, listen, I know you have to pay for Rev Pro, but if y'all could spare $9 for a monthly, I highly recommend Michael Oku's match against Leon Slater, during Forbidden Door weekend. Cause I'm like, oh my God, this match was amazing and it's so good. But Okada does win. He moves on. We get a little bit of a confrontation between him and Takeshita after this match. So Takeshita and Okada are moving in. And then tomorrow, we're going to find out who gets that last spot in this three-way at All Out Toronto. But let's get into it. This leads us into, our main event of Collision, in which Paragon, Roddy Strong, and Cool Kyle O'Reilly, Cool Dad Kyle O'Reilly, taking on the Death Riders of John Moxley and the newest, protege, looking like this is a bootleg cosplay of Knights of the Old Republic in Daniel Garcia. I was just like, what are we doing? Again, standard match. All four of these men individually are fantastic. I love watching Daniel be a little bit more aggressive and go to the darker side of the spectrum, if you will, of being more of a heel-ish kind of character now that he's part of Death Riders. But the fact that he's in this hoodie is wild to me. I was just like, all right, calm down.
The shorts.
I am not gonna lie, it took me a little bit. I was like, I don't know if I can get here and find the shorts like this, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it was funny. It was sort of it was really reminiscent of like Moxley's G1 gear, like
Right?
little shooter boots and the knee pads.
So he's trying to be Mox, little Mox now.
Yeah, right. Like trying to be at 2019 Mox. And I love also like as you say, like with this render, like did they just catch him? Photographer just catch him as he came backstage last week. Like, hey, Danny.
He looked like he just woke up from a nap.
Well, and also,
he really does.
can we address the elephant in the room that Marina Shafir was on the other side from her husband and just not supporting him whatsoever?
I was like, how dare she? No, I'm just kidding.
I wanted the ending where like Mox ended up being the one to pull Roddy back out, to have Marina pull him out and to like jump on top of him just because like, and then you have that moment on camera like, oh, we're at work, sorry.
They just stare into each other's eyes. It's like, ooh, this is kind of hot. Oh, wait, there's cameras and children and other adults here. Let's wait until afterwards.
And Kyle's like, come on.
Kyle's like, get freaky on your own time.
And he starts
Oh,
yelling,
goodness.
Marina!
I
He
literally
does a lot of
put in my
screaming, I
notes.
bet. Anyways.
I literally put in my notes. I was just like, it's gonna be an awkward ride home for for Marina and Roddy.
Don't worry. Y'all know Roddy going to be screaming at the top of his lungs later. Be like, how dare you do that to me? Or who knows? Marina being the badass she is, she's like, okay. It's like, psh. I'm like, do it.
Do it.
If Marina shows up next week in a wheelchair, we'll know why.
If Roddy shows up in a wheelchair, we'll know why.
We know why too.
Exactly.
But I will say, Daniel Garcia and Kyle O'Reilly going through chain wrestling and really doing some mat work, really
So
well done here.
Good. I love that part.
And the
again,
torque
I'm like,
that Kyle O'Reilly got on that arm bar when Danny had flipped him over and was like basically wrenching his arm out.
this is why I've been saying we need like bring ROH pure champion Daniel Garcia back, because that Daniel Garcia is a menace and I want him back. And hopefully we're slowly getting back to menace Daniel Garcia because it's a lot of fun.
He's ignoring Daddy Magic.
Which I was like, ooh, this relationship gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
So, yep,
Like,
Mox. Yeah, yep, go for it.
My bad. Like, I was just gonna say that AEW has a lot of great utility players right now, and like like John Cruz, Daddy Magic. Like they can do commentary, they can manage, they can wrestle. Like they can do pretty much everything, but except for like get themselves over, I guess.
Damn.
I know that was harsh. That was harsh. I'm sorry. I love that.
You're not. You're sorry, not sorry.
It's sorry, not sorry. And
I mean, it's true, but hey, sometimes it works out. Like we get whole relationships, people having whole children on this roster. Like, I mean, Mr. Angelo Parker and Ruby Soho out here having a whole child. It's crazy.
yeah,
It's like,
exactly right. YouTube put in my feed the other day like a match between like Garcia and like I can't remember who the other person was, but it was like right when they debuted, he debuted with 2.0, and like he was a heel. They were a heel like faction back then too, and like he just had this other edge to him.
and again, what I'm also hoping too is that if Daniel's going to be in the Death Riders for a while, and if it's not him being a sleeper agent for Orange Cassidy, I think the other option that I'm really hoping for is that, as crazy as it is, and I don't know if AEW could do this, but if they pulled it off, it would be amazing. Because we know that Wheeler has been going to Chris, and we're like, why is he talking to Chris? We already established you don't want nothing to do with him or the Death Riders. But every time I'm hearing Wheeler Yuta, I'm like, wait a minute. Every time he says our friend, I'm like, we're assuming it's Moxley. What if he's telling Chris about Orange? And we're secretly getting the best friends coming back together with him, Chris, and Wheeler.
What if the king that Mox was talking about was actually Orange Cassidy?
Oh.
Could be Eddie Kingston though.
That could also be
That
true
is
because
true.
I'm excited for the future. This match was fun. Death Riders win. Poor Kyle tapping out, but it is what it is. This was a fun week of AEW Dynamite and Collision Television. But let's get into, because we're up against it, let's get into the final bit, which is making our predictions for All Out Toronto. And I'm just like, including the 1 0 hour match, we have a total of like 11 matches on. We have 11 matches in total. 10 on the. Yeah, this is going to be a long one. I was like, all right, I'm going to be slamming this into my veins on Sunday when I get home because I was like, Lord, this is going to be a long one. So let's just jump into it. So we only got one match for 0 hour. This is really the only one we really care about. I don't really care what we're getting. Well, I mean, it'll probably be fun, but we are getting this 8-woman tornado tailgate brawl match, which means I was just like, all right, we're going to see coolers. I need to see beer getting thrown. Like everything. So on one side, we have the team of Willow Nightingale, Mina Shirakawa, Harley Cameron, and Queen Aminata taking on the team of Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Megan Bain, and Penelope Ford.
No Tekla.
No Tekla because she's going to be busy on the main card. This is hard because I love everybody here, but I have to pick. And I'm like, I'm going to be so for real. I'm probably going to go with Willow, Mina, Harley, and Aminata. Because I feel like Tekla is going to beat Aminata tomorrow night. And since Tekla's not in here, I think the face team probably is going to win because the heels won last time. I don't know. This one's hard. I can really go either way, but you have Willow here. And I was like, Willow's win-loss record is very, very, she wins more than she loses. So
it's true.
And also Harley is a staple and like the crowd loves her. And you have a stacked face team. Not to say that the heels aren't stacked. I mean, Megan is like Megan holds the team for like 3 different people. She has 3 people in one little body. Exactly. But I'm gonna go with the face team here because I feel like they have a strong. I can make a more of a compelling case for them to win. But I think it's gonna be fun. JVL, who you got winning this tailgate brawl?
There was a part of me at one point that thought that Statlander's going to come in and ruin this for Willow at some point. I don't know why it would be. But I'm going to go with the face team as well. I think that's going to be the face team. Harley Cameron needs a win. I think she needs to celebrate. Let's give her the win.
And then finally, Benny, who you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the face team because
why the hell
Willow, to be honest with you. Like, also because I'm like I'm looking at this graphic. Like, I actually hadn't seen this yet. And like I was like, why is Willow here? Like,
that's the other thing too. I was just like, Willow really hasn't been involved this past weekend at AEW television, but you're like, let's get the babe with the power in front of the Toronto crowd. They're gonna love her.
Instead of Statlander. That's so interesting.
Well, I mean, Stat's gonna be busy in the main card too, which we'll talk about when we get there. But let's talk about the main card, shall we? Because we can have officially 10 matches on this thing. There are 10 matches on this bitch.
But
listen,
all of them have like actual participants.
That is very true because we're going to finalize some participants tomorrow night. But I will say, at first I was like, you got 10 whole matches AEW. But I'm like, if you give me the same pacing that we got with Forbidden Door, where everything was actually paced pretty well and the main event was long enough because it was the main event and rightfully so, then I will be okay with this big match card. And again, because it starts at 12 p.m. Pacific for me, obviously I'll be traveling, but at the same time, be like, you know what? It's not going to be super late for a lot of folks who are watching on the East Coast, which is great.
And are not going to be tuning into the other stuff, which is great.
Which is fantastic. But let's start off. So again, these matches are in no particular order. I tend to order them from like non-title matches to big title matches. So of course, the first one we're going to talk about is Big Bill challenging Eddie Kingston to a fight at All Out Toronto. This one's really easy for me. I was just like, there is no way in hell, to quote one of my favorite drag queens, Cornbread, there is no way in hell that Eddie Kingston is losing. So I'm going to go with Eddie on this one.
Yeah, same. He's first match back. No, he's winning.
Yeah, same here. It's got to be Eddie. This match is a return vehicle for him. So like, it's it's got to be Eddie.
Oh my goodness. I'm excited. This is going to be fun. Can't wait to see the Mad King come back. Next up, we have our tables and tacks match. Mark Briscoe versus MJF. This match is going to be bloody. It's going to get crazy. I'm actually going to go with MJF winning here. I feel like in order for Max to progress to the next part of him getting back to Hangman and that title, I feel like because we've been kind of skirting around MJF and Mark Briscoe, I think Max wins here. And again, I know continuity is weird in AEW, but because I know for sure he's probably going to lose the day before, I think Max has to win at some point this weekend. So I'm having Max go over Mark Briscoe, which then pushes him into whatever we got next for him. Because we've been kind of skirting around this feud all summer long, and I think we're finally getting to the finality part of the feud between these two. So, JVL, who you got?
I also have Max. I feel like he's got farther to go. Briscoe could win this or lose this, and it won't hurt him.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Max, simply because I actually think that there may be another match in this feud, and Max doing his Max stuff, pulling out a win to then set up another set up round 3.
Very true. Also, this picture of him raising his eyebrow, beautiful. I was like, right? The AEW photographers and graphic department be having fun with this, and I love it. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, so next up, Lord have mercy. Listen, Briscoe and Max are gonna bleed, right? Somebody is gonna metaphorically or possibly literally die in this match, as it always is anytime you get Darby, but also you get Moxley in this flipping match. So because we've seen Darby win and lose coffin matches, he wins more than he loses in this coffin matches, but because of what we're going with Daniel now joining the Death Riders, I'm actually going with Moxley to win the coffin match here. And we've seen Darby lose and then come back 10 times stronger because Darby's going to need some help. And he's been trying to go at this alone. And now that Daniel Garcia has jumped the ranks of AEW to get into Death Riders, and now we have another member, I think the next part of Darby's story is he's going to need backup and he's going to need friends to help fight, the newest iteration of the Death Riders. So I'm going with Moxley to win this coffin match, but hot damn, Moxley is going to need to take he literally needs to beat up Darby to the point where this kid don't move and put him in the coffin because Darby ain't going down without a fight. But I got Moxley winning the coffin match here. JVL, who you got for this one?
We're picking the same stuff here, Mikey, for the same reason that I thought as well. We're building to a blood and guts match. Mox has taken a couple of big losses. They apparently need to build him back up. Mox has taken this, and also Darby has lost every coffin match he's been in. It's kind of like the Undertaker and Buried Alive matches. I think this is Darby's thing, that he just keeps losing coffin matches.
Like, why do you keep having the conversation? You never win. That's pretty funny. I'm going to go with Darby, simply because he's out for revenge against Mox after everything that he did. And I make a bold prediction here, and I think that Orange Cassidy will return to help out Darby here.
Ooh. Listen, I'd be here for that too. Somebody's about to pop out this coffin and it's going to be amazing.
It's Sting.
That would be amazing. I'm like, technically Sting does not officially retire from everything until December, so he can pop up for an appearance or two. Be like, hey, daddy. I'm just kidding. This match is going to be nuts, and I'm excited for it. This is going to be a lot of fun. So let's move into our next match, which is, of course, our tag team match. Copeland and Christian Cage versus FTR. I am having a really hard time again. Part of me is just like, it's the hometown crowd. You literally have your Canadian boys in this match, so winning would get a huge pop over. However, with the momentum that FTR has gained within the last couple of weeks with their heel work, and I'm figuring that this is not the last time we're going to see these two teams go at it. I'm going to go with FTR winning in this one, and then I'm thinking Cope and Christian win the second one, and then in the final one, we get the blow-off match either at Full Gear or World's End. So I'm going to go with FTR winning this one, this first round, I should say. JVL, who you got between these two?
This is where it's going to come down to. I think that we need to have Cope and Christian win this first one and then have something happen at the end where Stoke brings folks in or something else, but they end up winning anyways, or Stoke calls in a favor, but it goes sideways with Nick Wayne. I think Cope and Christian are going to win this.
Ooh, okay. So we're at opposite ends. Benny, you're the tiebreaker. Who you going with in this match?
Who do you love more?
Me. I'm just kidding.
Who am I going with in a divorce? I think I'm gonna go with also gonna go with FTR in this one.
I see how it is.
It's so hard to call though. Like
it really is.
I really see how it is.
Oh, don't be like that. But honestly, even with FTR, I agree with you, Benny. This is still 50-50. Like it could go either way.
Yeah, because like with the heat that they've been generating the last couple of weeks, like if they beat the hometown heroes, like this place is gonna riot, you know.
Wild. This should be a fun match, though. I'm really excited, and I really hope all four of them bring out like all gas, no break, like just rip it to shreds, burn the place down. Like I want craziness. It's gonna be fun. Speaking of craziness, I want these guys to be able to go full throttle too. In our trios match, we are getting the Hurt Syndicate. So this includes Bobbles, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and getting back into the wrestling ring, Mr. MVP, which makes me super excited. Taking on Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. So this is another tough one because I love me the Hurt Syndicate, right? Bobbles and Shelton and MVP are fantastic. I also don't want to root against Ricochet because I think Ricochet is fine taking a loss, but I kind of want to see Gates of Agony finally pick up a big pay-per-view win. So against my better judgment, I'm going to go with Ricochet and Gates of Agony. Again, I don't think this is the end of the feud, and I kind of want these boys to win. So I'm going to go with Ricochet and Gates of Agony. And again, Gates of Agony and Ricochet have been getting the better of the Hurt Syndicate over the last couple of weeks, but I'm really wanting I'm going with my heart for this one. I really want, Toa Leona and Bishop Khan to pick up a big pay-per-view win. So I'm going to go with Ricochet and the Gates of Agony here. It's probably going to bite me in the butt. JBL, who you got?
I'm going with the same with you. I think I'm going to go with my heart on this one. I think that Goa and Ricochet need the win on this, and will definitely get it over that. MVP is going to be the weak link in some respect, or something's going to happen with the Hurt Syndicate where there's going to be some cracks forming. So I see this as a more cohesive unit winning.
And Benny, who you got?
I'm also going to go with Ricochet and GOA, simply because if I usually don't play much into rumors or anything. But I think they may be finishing up the Hurt Syndicate, and they've always said that they want to put GOA over. Is what I've always heard. But so I wouldn't be surprised if this is how that run ends.
So, man, I really hope Ricochet, obviously, but I really am hoping that Goa gets a victory here because that would be crazy. I love them so much. Alrighty. So JBL brought up to the point where we are trying to still finalize certain things, and this is obviously the biggest one.
Hooray!
So it was announced that it was announced.
Guess who we all are thinking is winning?
I mean, we all know who's really winning, but let me get through the rundown. So we are getting a AEW World Tag Team Championship 4-way ladder match. Brodito is defending their titles, and we're going to finalize the 3 teams that they are going up against. So tomorrow night, we are having 3 tag team matches, qualifiers, if you will. So in this match, it's going to be Brodito versus either the Don Callis family of Josh Alexander and Echi Seto, or Top Flight. So one of those 2 teams will move on to the ladder match. If Top Flight, keep them away from the ladders.
Oh my God, yeah.
I just go back to Supercard of Honor, watching a whole leg and ankle get twisted in a direction that it did not need to go, and like clutching my invisible pearls. So it is going to be Brodito versus the Don Callis family or Top Flight versus the Bang Bang Gang, which is Juice and, the one half of the Guns, or the Young Bucks. So that's going to be interesting, versus the on again, off again relationship of will they, won't they be on the same page? Kip Sabian and Killswitch or Jet Speed. I think we all know, and I think we all know that it's going to be Brodito for the win. Like, Brodito is still in their early stages. I'm going with Brody. I'm going with Bandito, my wrestler of the year so far, and Baby Daddy Brody King, Brodito, to walk out as champions. I'm pretty sure everybody else here is going to pick Brodito too.
100%.
Yeah.
Listen,
they're the only team that's on there, so yes.
For reals. Alrighty, so that one's a lot easier to pick, so hopefully that's an easy point for everyone. So let's get into now our singles championship. So we have a TBS championship match. Mercedes Moné defending her title against Riho. Again, as much, I'm still going with my theory. I'm going with Mercedes to retain here. She's going to hold that championship until she beats Jade's record of the longest reigning TBS champion. And I still think this is going to be a fun match, but I got Mercedes retaining. JVL, who you got in this one?
Same. She's not dropping the belt until Full Gear or World's End.
And then Benny, who you got?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great match. It's great to see Riho back. And it's nice to see Riho fighting somebody who's, let's just say, a smaller stature. Because, like, most of Riho's best matches are with, like, the David versus Goliath type. So, and I think Mercedes has wanted this one for a while, so I'm going to go with Mercedes.
Yep. Alrighty. So next up on our predictions docket is going to be, and again, because AEW hasn't formatted the graphic in the way that I need it to be, but that is okay. We have this AEW Unified Championship 3-way. So we know 2 of the 3 participants. So it is Okada defending his Unified Championship against Konosuke Takeshita and then tomorrow night we will find out if it's going to be Beast Mortos or Máscara Dorada of CMLL.
Neither who are winning.
AKA the person who's probably going to take this pin and eat it. So that's an easy out. So my inclination is to go with Okada, but also because I know that Destruction in Kobe for New Japan is coming right around the corner, and Takeshita has gone on record saying that he wants to, enter Wrestle Kingdom in January as champion. I think, and this is probably going to bite back at me, I think Okada, honestly, has been a fun champion. I think he's done everything that he can with this. I'm going to go with Takeshita. I think Takeshita is going to get this championship, and then he's going to win the IWGP World Heavyweight, and he's going to be double champ Takeshita, which would be crazy. I think this is the time. Again, I could be wrong, but I'm going to go with Takeshita for this one. JBL, who you got?
Mikey, stop taking my picks. Same reason. I'm going for Takeshita.
I'm like, please give. I think it's Takeshita's time. I think, not to say Okada is at the end of his run, but Okada has been a really fun champion. He's the longest unified and the longest, I think, singles champion in AEW, if I remember what they said correctly, across all the championships in AEW. But I think Takeshita as double champ would be amazing.
Well, and also gives something for Okada to chase and the cracks in the Callis family.
True.
Right.
So the fraction will begin. So
this is going to come down to Cage and Chris, Chris and Cage and Copeland versus FTR for us to see who wins this evening.
For reals, because it's going to be crazy. But then again, I had to contend with whatever Professor picks too, because who knows? Him and his Nostradamus ass might win. Like him and his Nostradamus picks always fucking win him the things in the end. But anyways, Benny, who you got in this 3-way match?
You sold me on it actually. Like,
oh my goodness.
And I even came up with a reasoning while I was listening to you guys' answers. So,
yep.
I like the idea of having taking the belt off of Okada, so Okada snaps and has something to chase Takeshita for, and I just find it funny that Okada didn't put over any young guys in New Japan on his way out, but he's over here putting over Takeshita.
Well, he's a DDT guy, so it works.
For reals, Takeshita is out here with his 3 contracts: AEW, New Japan, and DDT as well. Like, oh man, and you know what? Takeshita is going to Japan, and if he's gonna win the IWGP World Heavyweight from Zack before Wrestle Kingdom, have him defend that. The Unified Championship defended in New Japan would be crazy. But yeah, so that's a lot of fun. Okay, so now we're getting into our final 2 matches, which are for the big titles, if you will. So the first one being our AEW Women's World Championship in this 4-way match. Timeless Toni Storm defending her title against Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and Tekla. For me, this is an easy pick. I'm going with Timeless Toni Storm. However, comma, period, asterisk, whatever grammatical portion you want to use, I am actually going to quote Benny, who brought this up on the social medias, and I highly agree with him. So I'm giving him all credit here. My biggest thing about the match is not that Tony's is going to win. That's the easy pick. My big thing that I need from this match is to see where we're going with her and the story of her championship and her next opponent. Because we have these other 3 here who are amazing. Stat, Jamie, Tekla, right? Fantastic. My biggest hope is that this match sets Jamie up to still be the number 1 contender and to still go after Tony to get that championship back. Otherwise, and to quote Benny, what are we doing? What are we doing?
The plot will be lost.
Because I love Tony to death. I really do. But she's beaten this whole women's roster twice in some cases.
Yeah.
And the only person really left, again, is Willow and Jamie. Willow is off doing other things right now because she's on the Tailgate Brawl at 0 hour. So I think Jamie needs to be the one to dethrone Tony for the history and the story they have. So, I mean, I'm going with Tony, but I need them to give me where Tony's going next for Wrestle Dream and possibly Full Gear after this match. Because, Athena losing at Forbidden Door, I was like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I picked Tony to win, but she's kind of been lost. She's kind of been just waiting in the water, so to speak, these last couple weeks leading into All Out Toronto. So I need to see some definitive pathway for Tony and who she's going to face going into Wrestle Dream and Full Gear. But that's my long thing of it. I'm actually going to go to you, Benny, first, because I did quote and give you credit for your stuff because your thoughts were very profound when I watched it. So obviously who you got and what, and, I would like to hear more about, what you were saying about we need something more a substance for Tony.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Really what it is that as much as I love Toni Storm and I love the Timeless character, it's starting to run a little thin. The jokes are always great. The everything's fantastic, but all great things have to come to an end, and I don't know where they're gonna what's next for the timeless character, but uh, there's a AEW has a lot of this problem with a lot of their champions, where like right now, like they've all been holding it for a really long time, and there's no direct path away from that. And to be honest with you, I really like to give it to Stat, like have have Stat win, and simply because we can move the women's division away from Tony Storm a little bit, and move back towards Willow and Stat, because they've been floundering as well. And this women's division needs a spark.
That's definitely another two people that kind of been floundering. We got to figure something out for Stat and Chris as well. Like, they deserve it. And honestly, I feel like even if those are your next three contenders individually, I'm gonna be so for real. I think Tekla's in this match to take this pin. I love Tekla, but I think she's gonna be either her or Stat is going to take this pin. I think that's what they're here for. My money is on Tekla, but she can afford the loss because Homegirl has like gained money in the last couple of months with the money matches that she's been a part of.
She's gonna wipe those tears with the dollar bill.
Like, oh, let me just wipe my tears with this $100 bill real quick. But yeah, all right. And then of course, JBL, I think I know who you got, but like,
who do you think I got?
Timeless Tony Storm.
I do, but riddle me this. I am calling the end of this match. The ring is clear, except for Jamie and Stat. Jamie hits Haterade on Statlander, and as she's about to go and make the cover, Tekla spears her out of the ring. They're brawling on the outside. Tony Storm, who's been out in the corner for a little while here, wakes up, crawls over, covers Statlander, and wins. She barely survives the four women. Hater, who was supposed to get the win, was taken out. You got Hater and Tekla for a bit while Tony figures out what she's doing, which could be Willow, could be Statlander rematch, and then at Worlds Collide, Hater takes it off her.
Oh my gosh, that would be a perfect way to end AEW in 2025 at Worlds End. It would be so good.
That's great.
Will it happen? Probably not, but Tony's listening, so it's okay.
Is that sure? And then finally, our final match of our predictions, probably the easiest one for me to pick.
Kyle Fletcher also sat on that bicycle without a seat.
Hangman Adam Page defending the AEW World Championship against Kyle Fletcher. This one's easy for me. I am going with the millennial anxious cowboy Hangman Page to retain the championship, though I think this match is going to be a banger. This match is going to be fun. JBL, who you got for this one?
I'm also going Hangman Page. I feel like there's going to be shenanigans at some point because the Don Callis family, which will cost Kyle the match and make some stuff there. But yes, there we go. So it's going to come down to the FTR, Cage, and Copeland match for us to figure out who wins.
Seriously, it's going to be crazy. And then Benny, who you got in this one?
I can't even look at this photo. Like, it's just...
you can't look at it the same anymore.
Oh my god!
Shampoo bottles don't go there.
Yeah, seriously. Like, never mind. I'm going with Hangman. Same reason. Like, there's gonna be shenanigans, and like, I like this story of like maybe Kyle's getting a little bit too big for his britches. Like he wins one title and now he's going for another one, and like he just needs.
Who does he think he is? Mercedes Moné?
I know, right? He just needs to be chopped down to size a little bit.
Right. So, and I think Hangman is the funnest way to do it. And that brings us to the end of our All Out Toronto. My God, there's a lot of matches on this main card. It is going to be crazy Saturday, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, next Tuesday, we will be here reviewing All Out Toronto. So that's going to be a really fun show to review. And that's going to be it for us here at All Elite Ensemble review. But before we go, I would like to give you a preview of what the rest of this week looks like. So I know, but it's a very light week, which I'm very appreciative. But then, I say that, and next week is going to be freaking crazy. So tomorrow evening is the double dose of reviews on Wednesday. We kick things off at 5:30 p.m. Pacific with our NXT review show. We are going to be reviewing NXT's Homecoming, which is the TV special airing right now and tonight, where we're getting all the eras of NXT popping back in. We're having matches, and literally this is leading us into our go home show next week before No Mercy. And then, of course, at 8 p.m. Pacific, the CMLL crew will be here to review another episode of CMLL's Viernes Espectacular, which we saw, the second phase of the Copa Independencia. Now we have our finals locked in for the, Aniversario show this Friday. And our main event was an AEW Tag Team Championship. And it was just as epic as you think it was with Brodito in Mexico. It was amazing. It was so much fun. So we are going to be reviewing that episode and previewing Aniversario. Speaking of Aniversario, on Friday, the TNA boys are taking a week off because we will be doing a live watch-along. The CMLL crew will be here for the 92nd Aniversario watch-along starting at 7:30 p.m. Pacific. There's a lot of matches. Me and Will be watching this, as well as our unofficial fourth co-host, Agent Lo-Fi, homie to the chat. And then we are getting the grand return of, El Buntador del Segundo, a.k.a. Adolfo, as, he's been off on a hiatus for this month, but he is making his grand return on Friday. And then we wrap up the week on Saturday before I leave for Los Angeles to GCW Homecoming Los Angeles, as I do a quick review for Defy Wrestling's Aeon, which includes some tournament matches, Marina Shafir defending her Defy Women's Championship. We are getting Clark Connors in an open challenge. Killer Cross is making his Defy debut, which is going to be nuts. So I can't wait for all of that. But yeah, it's going to be a fun, week of wrestling. So super excited. But that's going to be it for us here at All Elite Ensemble. We got to get up out here because we've been here for almost 2 hours and it's late for a lot of folks. So thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, from all of us here at BC WrestlePod to you, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you for the remainder of this week of fun reviews and shenanigans. But until then, sayonara, adios, and until next time, peace.